Hello, everyone. Welcome to AlphaWisdom. I'm Mystic Cassandria, and this is lesson 132. As you see on your screen, it says signs in the palm that show friendship, generosity, and empathy. These are the items we're going to be talking about for this week. Now, let's take a look at the illustration I have for you. I hope it's clear, and so that we don't get lost, I have alphabetized the sections we're going to be talking about. We'll start first with the thumb. There are two things we can say about the thumb. So we have A, B, and we go down to C. We'll be talking briefly on the heart line. Go back to the top. Widely spaced fingers. Now in this chart, they're not drawn that way, but the loops here are here to indicate to you that we're talking wideness. If that's not clear, let's take a quick look at this photo and you can see the wide gaps. This is what I'm talking about, this kind of wideness, all right? Let's put this aside and continue on. Once we leave this, then we go on to letter E, and let's take F and end with G, where we're talking about this fleshy part. This is Venus, this is the mount, all right? So let's start here with A. All right, we're talking about the signs that will indicate generosity, warmth, and openness. But these should not be considered independently. The greater the number of these markings, the more generous, warm, or open we are. We can also conclude that fewer of these signs indicate more of a stingy nature, or do many of the opposite signs, as do many of the opposite signs. So sometimes we will see a palm of a person that is generous. Maybe circumstances in their upbringing meant that they may have gone through situations where there was not sufficient, let's say money, for example, to be generous. But that doesn't mean they didn't have a generous heart. It's a generous nature about them. Maybe they don't have a tremendous amount to give, but in a simple way, they are doing the best they can. So that's generosity too. So this is not a rule that you follow and there's nothing else to balance it. No, just we try to understand that there are signs that indicate to us, but you need to be open to the idea that just because you don't have a sign doesn't mean you're not generous, okay? Generous but just, or whichever way. Okay, let's go on. Let's start here with A. The thumb held away from the palm means that the person is open and accessible, can be reached, can be talked to. Let's go to the next one, B. Here we have the thumb tip. The tip of the thumb, this part, is bent backwards. That means this person is extravagant and generous. Extravagant and generous. Let's go on to letter C, where we have the curved heart line. Now, we've been talking about curved heart line for quite a bit, for the past couple of weeks, I believe. And when we have it here, this indicates the person is warm and openly demonstrative. They show their affections. That's their nature. Okay, so you should already be a little familiar with that. Let's go on to D. When we have the space between the fingers, it shows a person who is open and magnanimous. All right, let's go on to E. Here we have the wide space. Wide space between the head line and the heart line. This means that the person is broad-minded as well as open. So if you have space between your heart and your head line, we may be talking about you, all right? So that is E. Let's go on to F. Now this is completely new. Here's the F. You see these vertical lines here close to the lifeline. Please try not to confuse this with Mars. Mars begins up here and comes down. Normally it doesn't go all the way down, and you don't have short lines here. These are called friendship lines. Friendship lines. All right. As it takes time and a generous spirit to enjoy ongoing relationships with friends, mean people, the opposite now, mean people rarely have friends for long or are not motivated to make them. So friendship lines are interesting markings found further down on the mount of Venus, under the thumb, running parallel to the lifeline, which adds vigor and vitality to the personality. These fine vertical lines show the main companions in our life. Usually these are platonic, all right? Often the ones who have the deepest impact, loyal confidence, who stay with us through both good times and bad times. As we say nowadays, through thick and thin. They're always someone that you can count on, you can depend on. These are these people. All right, let's go on to the last one, which is G. All right. Large mount. This is a large mount of Venus, warm and sensual. So if you have a large mount there, it's wide, it's strong, has a lot of energy to it. And it may feel a little hard, okay? That means you are warm and you are sensual, okay? All right. Now, there are other signs like nails. We haven't talked about the nails yet, but these are the major ones that you would see. All right. We've come to the end of this. If you found it interesting, I suggest that you give a thumbs up. We're always learning something interesting, I would think. At least I hope so. Share and, of course, subscribe. Thank you so very much for tuning in and watching. Stay safe and, of course, be happy. Bye.